Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode 4 of
In the Mix.
Yo, I'm Y-Lii, the Southern kid with the city swag.
And I'm Terzel. Let's get right into it.
Yeah.
This is MX News in a Flash, where we talk about big headlines that have made waves throughout the week. Starting it off, of course, earlier this week, Bernie Sanders has suspended his 2020 presidential campaign. That will leave Joe Biden as the Democratic nominee. That is some very sad news for people who believe in politics.
It's very sad. Actually, if you don't mind me asking, were you more for Bernie or were you more for Joe?
I knew Joe Biden was going to be the nominee because that's the establishment candidate. But, people love to, go with what they know already, and they have known Joe Biden for years and years with the Obama administration. But moving right along to a positive note, Jeezy proposes to Jeannie Mai of The Real. And it's really good to see some good news in the midst of all this bad news.
Yes, sir. All right, then shout out to Lil Nas X. He did a cover for Guardian Weekend magazine.
Yes.
Across the spread, he was posing in some pretty interesting photographs, defying all kinds of toxic masculinity, defying the idea of what masculinity actually is.
Stereotypes.
All the stereotypes is out there. Of course, he got a lot of grief on social media, but it is what it is. Nas, keep doing what you're doing, man.
Keep doing you. Tekashi 6ix9ine has made his return to Instagram, which is pretty much his second home. He has returned by commenting on the Shade Room's post about the Los Angeles mayor offering incentives to people who snitch on businesses that are violating the stay-at-home order. And Tekashi's post was coming to the rescue. So he's obviously approaching it with a joking manner, and that's what he's known for. He has changed his Instagram profile pic to him eating cheese, which is an allusion to him being a rat, of course. So we already know how 6ix9ine is, and I really think that he's going to do just as well, if not better, musically now that he's out. Drake's Tootsie Slide is still going up the charts. Right foot up, left foot slide.
Hey.
It's going crazy right now. It had 1 million views on Pandora in the first 12 hours. And it currently sits at 24 million views on YouTube. Obviously, this dance is going crazy. And Drake made it specifically for TikTok. He targeted dancers Tootsie, Ayo, and Teo, who are behind I Just Wanna Rolly with a Dab Ranch. And he created it specifically for TikTok, and it's going up right now.
Up, all the way up. Coming up next, we want to talk about Remy Ma. Remy Ma and Fat Joe got on Instagram Live. By the way, everyone's just been on Instagram Live since COVID-19.
Of course, nobody has anything
You know
to
what I'm
do.
saying? Remy Ma, Fat Joe on Live talking. Remy Ma made mention to her opening up the doors for female rappers, but she also mentioned someone who said they did the same exact thing. Nicki Minaj.
Yeah.
Now, this wasn't a this or that or versus type of conversation. She actually was just saying that she, in Nicki's defense, understands why Nicki chose to not work with certain people in the industry due to how people can potentially be fake behind the scenes.
There's always going to be people who are fake behind the scenes.
Oh, absolutely.
Always.
Over the past few weeks, the entire world has been suffering dealing with the pandemic that is COVID-19.
Yes, and taking preventive measures such as washing your hands and social distancing. So we just want to take a moment to thank everybody involved with this.
Also, we want to especially appreciate the first responders that are fighting to keep us all safe. And then let's move on to talk more about those who are helping financially support those who are dealing with COVID-19.
Yes, there's a lot of people who are actually helping with this fight right now. Rihanna has donated $700,000 worth of ventilators to her home country of Barbados. Her father has actually been diagnosed with COVID-19, so that is very unfortunate, but she's doing a great part in fighting that battle.
Yes, and also Jay-Z, Meek Mill, we want to just give a big shout out to them. Their organization,
The Reform Alliance.
Yes, the organization has donated 100,000 masks to those inmates in prison. We do know many people in prison, of course, being in a confined space. There have been many celebrities who are incarcerated right now who have attempted to get out of jail because of COVID-19. So our thoughts and our prayers are with everyone, not just the inmates, but everyone across the world.
talk about In the Ring, which is a segment covering celebrity beefs that are shifting the culture. To start it off, we have Usher versus The Weeknd, two of our favorites going at it. This is because The Weeknd recently did an interview with Variety after the release of his album After Hours, and he said that when he first heard the song Climax by Usher back in 2012, he thought it was one of his records. The Weeknd is talking about his mixtape House of Balloons, which was released back in 2011, which he believes shifted the entire culture of R&B. Now, the producer on the album, Diplo, has commented on the matter. Diplo says that when he heard House of Balloons, he wanted to take some of those same dark melodic sounds and put them on the Usher record. That to me seems like an admission of guilt. Now, Usher has responded to this matter with a tweet saying, "Have you ever seen the moon bark back at the dog?" We'll see how this wraps up. Hopefully it will end in some dope music from the both of them.
All right, next up on In the Ring, we got Cardi B versus Y-Lii again. I'm actually kind of getting sick of this, but let's just go ahead and get right into it. Cardi B and Y-Lii have been trading shots against each other on social media again. Y-Lii has had more of a prominent presence on social media lately, being that she has this podcast of sorts called On Site, where she has discussed her beef with Cardi B. Now, if you all don't remember exactly where this started, we got a clip that we can roll, and it all started at the Harper's Bazaar party 2 years ago. Now, as y'all can see, it was a whole lot going on at that Harper's Bazaar party. It has been said Y-Lii was also responsible for that knot that was on the top of Cardi B's head. Now, we have no confirming reports or video, but that was said by Nicki Minaj on Queen Radio. Now, the issue deeper between Y-Lii, and Cardi B is Y-Lii's issue with her BFF, Star Brim. Now, Star Brim and Ra have had some beef for some time. They've actually traded shots also across social media. Y-Lii has accused Star Brim of being an opportunist. Now, Miss Y-Lii, I do remember a time when you were friends with Miss Remy Ma on Love and Hip Hop. Yeah, we saw all those episodes, and now y'all not cool no more. Then you went over and you befriended Nicki Minaj, and y'all not cool no more. Nah, friend. Nah. I wouldn't call nobody an opportunist considering your track record, sis. I'm just saying.
And another In the Ring segment is NBA YoungBoy versus Kodak Black. Now, this is really a four-way beef involving Yaya Mayweather and Floyd Mayweather as well. But Kodak Black has found an excerpt of an article saying that NBA YoungBoy was cooperating with authorities. Now, this was in reference to Yaya Mayweather facing some time in prison for allegedly stabbing one of NBA YoungBoy's baby mamas. And she's facing 99 years in prison for that. And he took that as an opportunity to call NBA YoungBoy a snitch. Now, that's like the worst thing you could ever call a rapper. So NBA YoungBoy got on Instagram Live and he said that, "How could you say that about me? And, you know, I bought this house that I'm in, not your bitch ass daddy." And what he was talking about was Floyd Mayweather. Now, Yaya Mayweather was right behind NBA YoungBoy when he made that video, and she didn't defend him or, you know, stand up for her dad, and people found a huge issue with that. How could you have a boyfriend who is calling you his wife, and he is talking about your dad in a certain manner, and you're not going to say anything about it? And this was a huge topic on social media.
Reginald Carter would never, ever. All right, here is our next segment, Fresh Off the Press, featuring R&B artist Stranger. Give it up, give it up. How you doing, man?
Chilling, man.
How you doing with this quarantine? How you holding up?
I got my Netflix and I got Violet Hennessy. I'm straight.
You good?
I'm good. Yeah.
That's all you need, man. We're gonna just jump into some new music and talk about some albums and songs that are sweeping up the charts right now, you know, keeping things hot. Tory Lanez released the new Toronto 3 a few days ago. How do you guys feel about that so far?
I think I personally think it's lining up perfectly, fam, with the whole quarantine radio
Absolutely,
thing.
yeah.
I got my phone propped up on a pillow, just watching it. I think it's super entertaining, and that's like good promo for the drop of the new album.
Yeah.
For sure. I think what he did with Quarantine Radio is perfect promo for his new album, because I don't know if people are paying attention, but Tory has gained like 800,000 followers on Instagram just from the start of Quarantine Radio. So he's at over 7 million followers now. And not only is he on Quarantine Radio, but he's like talking about, you know, the CEO of Instagram,
I saw that.
and he's like posting every 5 minutes. He's, you know, he knows what he's doing. He's like a social media maven.
Good business is being able to adapt. You know what I'm saying? Adapt in whatever environment you're in business wise. And I feel like he's doing a perfect job of adapting to the COVID-19 pandemic and making it work. People are stationary and they don't really have a choice but to listen. You know what I'm saying? It's a perfect opportunity for him.
As a singer, how do you feel about Tory? Do you like him more as a singer, as a rapper?
I think he's super dope, super talented. His pen game is ridiculous.
Right.
I think that he's a stronger rapper. I think he's as stronger lyricist. I think that he's vocally, he can hold a note well enough to get the point across, and I love it. I have personally, I got no complaints.
Speaking of live singers, though, Chris Brown is gearing up to drop a new collaborative mixtape with Young Thug. How do you guys feel about those artists? What are you looking forward to?
That's an interesting,
interesting mix. Right?
Yeah. Like that's an interesting mix
For sure, yeah.
Like,
I think they both dope, so I think the mixtape gonna be flames regardless.
Yeah, they both have their own unique styles.
Yeah,
so.
But I think it's like, I don't know. You think he might be like rapping a little bit more versus.
You know what? When I first heard Chris Brown spit some bars, it was I was like, nah, this can't be Chris. You know what I'm saying? So I was a little
he gets
bit
busy.
I was surprised. I'll say that. I definitely was surprised by Chris. Chris and Young Thug. So do you all foresee it being more rapping or singing? Because it's just like, you know.
Man, Young Thug loves to sing.
He does.
He loves to sing. Obviously, Chris is one of the GOATs. But, you know, Chris Brown rapping is not like Nick Cannon rapping. You know what I mean? Like, Chris Brown could actually rap.
It's legit.
It's like legit rap. It's not corny in a certain way. I remember back in the day, he had a mixtape with Tyga, Fan of a Fan, and he was rapping for that whole thing. And that was really good.
I think he more than likely use this opportunity with a rapper of that caliber.
I feel like he should,
try to go, not purposely, but go bar for bar with a rapper. So I think he's gonna do that.
It'll be an interesting mix. Probably an even mix, actually. You know, we might. I don't know. We can't tell till it comes out, but
man, quarantine got people doing crazy things, man.
It's a whole new world out here, man.
You know, Future is actually about to release "Life Is Good." Obviously, the single dropped earlier this year with Drake. Did crazy numbers. How do you feel about the release of this new album?
Life Is Good. You know, I thought about the Drake song. Life is Good, of course. And then him naming the album Life Is Good. Future, for me, he as far as his music and his catalog is concerned, he's just been one of those artists that I listen to when I'm chilling. Yeah. It's more
mellow vibe.
Yeah, a real mellow vibe, and I've always loved his tone. I just thought it was very different. It's something that you can compare him to, but I just always consider Future to be very different.
He's dope.
Yeah, Future definitely.
That was my line. I ain't doing my taxes, man. I'm too turned up. I realize now that if I ain't doing my taxes, I might put a little wrench in my COVID check.
Yeah, let's see if those stimulus checks come.
About that. So what's coming up next for you, though? You know, I know, like you said, you're adapting to this quarantine process. You release Moan. What is actually going to be next for you as far as your projects?
This quarantine thing is affecting me too, because it's giving me a lot more time to really like lock in my own thoughts and really put music together. So I've definitely been able to spend a lot more time just creating. So I'm definitely thankful for that. So just for me, just as an artist, putting out more music, more content, locking into the artistry, and working pretty much. Yeah.
Well, it was great having you, stranger.
Oh, no doubt. I've been watching the show. You guys are dope. Man.
Appreciate it, man.
Don't be a stranger to the show, man. Make sure you drop some comments in our live.
Yeah.
And make sure y'all check out Stranger's new single Moan. It is available now. Tell them what platforms it's available on.
All platforms: Spotify, Apple Music. All the major platforms.
Everywhere. Go get that. Go stream that.
Get that everywhere, man. One more thing before we go. Tell them where they can follow you on social media.
My Instagram handle is Stranger Places. That's STRNGR Places. So you find me on there. Same for the Twitter.
All right. This is In The Mix. We out.
Peace.